Alright, and good to go. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, cool. I have to do a countdown in chat, but that's alright. No big deal. I think should be good to go. Good luck to both runners. Like I said, this should be a fun race. So both of these runners are relatively decent at pit. Actually, they're pretty good, both of them. And I don't know the exact placements of both because the whole leaderboard has been changed so much throughout the last week. But yeah, I think if I remember correctly, they're both around the same time. So this should be pretty fun. The loser will move, or no, wait. The winner will move on to round 2 and play Mohawk, I think that's how it is. Yeah, they'll play Mohawk, and then the loser will get the glory of playing me. 7th and Zach's 8th. Okay, cool. Sick. Yeah, you guys are 20 seconds apart. That's cool. So this should, hopefully this means it should be a pretty fun race. I mean, overall, this whole tournament has been really fun. All around one has had its ups and downs, but it's been fun. Unfortunately, we had a couple did not finishes, but hopefully both runners at least finish, and we could see a close race today. That's all we hope for whenever we do one of these. But yeah, we'll continue on and keep doing more of these. I think round 2 and then losers round 1 starts soon after this.
Yeah. Oh.
Shout out to Teddy for getting a big any percent PB. What was your final time, Teddy? That was really sick. I got to watch the end of that because PTL was hosting you. But yeah, my commentary is going to be on and off for most of this beginning. 4:23, that's really sick. That's like a 45 minute PB. It was really good. Congrats. But yeah, my commentary is going to be on and off for many reasons. But once we get to the pit, it'll be, I mean, there'll be a lot more to talk about. But yeah, I'm going to be right back right now, and I'll be back in just a minute. So, I do want to touch on an important point that's coming up here. In this next room for both runners comes the first grind. This is going to be very interesting to see where both runners end up being point-wise. I have faith that both of them will at least have enough where they won't be, like, drastically behind. But, this grind can just be all over the place sometimes, so we'll go ahead and see right now. It was a great grind for Zach, and PTL actually has the fast flower, but he's gonna have lower points. The fast flower sometimes can just be really difficult to control when you get to this grind. So yeah, PTL's gonna be at like 20. What is he doing? Don't do it too long, or else you'll lose points. That's cool. Okay, yeah, actually PTL and Zach are relatively close now because he did that at the very end. That's a cool strat. Yeah, 33 and 31. Dude, it's actually harder than it looks like. I've tried it before, but I literally, like, can't do that. But if you do it, like, if you hop on that shell for too long, you'll literally lose points. So you can only do it to, like, a certain extent. So, I guess they programmed it in the game where, like, if you do that trick over and over. Because, like, in Super Mario Bros. 1, that was a trick. You know, that you could do, but it was just for, like, one-ups. For this game, like, if you could do that without losing points, that would literally be the grind in 1-1. Yeah, Zach, like you said, has a really good lead, because he also got a Fire Burst drop, I'm pretty sure. And I think he has... No, PTL has a little more points, but Zach may be able to save a lot of time going into the shop. What's up, Squiddy? What's up, Castle? What's up, Teddy? What's up, Flash? What's up, everyone here? It's been a pretty close race so far, but like you said, Zach has the lead, roughly. It'll be interesting to see what both runners do for the shop here. But yeah, see. I'm gonna be in and out of commentary for basically the entire run. I'll go ahead and make the same offer I did in chat, but again, if anyone has the time to just commentate, it doesn't take, like, a lot of talking, because, like, once I get to the pit, I'll do a lot more talking, but, yeah, if anyone wants to commentate, just let me know, but if not, I'll be able to get it. It's no big deal. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually gonna refresh the streams. I want to see, I want to make sure everyone's at the right spot. Tired, yes. That's definitely it. But yeah, I just give my voice a rest for today. So. Oh, that's sick. Yeah. Talk to PTL and he'll give you, or Teddy, I think, and they'll give you a commentator role. Literally, yeah, so for the whole tournament, really, I mean, we're in desperate need of commentators. I also wanted to talk to PTL and Teddy. I think after this race, I'll put it in the whole text channel, but I have a bunch, it's for, like, the feedback or, like, suggestions. There's a bunch of ideas I had to make everything work more smoothly, where, because, like, for this, it was, like, for people scheduling their tournament matches, it went great. You know, everyone kind of scheduled on their own time, which is perfect, but for commentators and restreamers, it was kind of all over the place. So I have some ideas on how we can make both, you know, both work. I'll figure it out. I'll put it in the whole chat. But yeah, we do need more commentators, because, you know, unfortunately, we just had a bunch of people. There were a couple of people that got sick and couldn't do it, and a bunch of other things happened, so hopefully it'll all get better. as the rounds go on. Yeah, overall, like you said, I think Zach has a decent lead. Yeah, your internet. Bunch of other things. PTL can't commentate. You know. Just a bunch of, like, a mixture of things, so we're getting through it. Yeah, no, that's definitely understandable. And if you have to drop out of your next tournament match, whenever that is next week, just, you know, don't worry about it. I definitely understand. Because sometimes, I mean, I need a lot of breaks from this game. It's just, playing it too much can get rough. Yeah, it's, you know, it's been fun, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the first round. I'm interested to see where things go for the next rounds, but oh yeah, since when do I play this game? When did I do that? I did a pit run last night, and I PB'd by like 30 seconds. It was painful. I PB'd by 9 seconds in my tournament match, and then 30 seconds. It wasn't even like a 140. Rough. But no, yeah, I do want to play this game more once my classes are done with. Rip Zach's D-pad. But yeah, there's definitely some improvements that can be made for this tournament and for this stream as it is. So I'm gonna try to get everyone on board and get all the feedback. By the way, if anyone has any feedback on what can be better, go ahead and put it in the questions and feedback channel, because like we'll need as much as we can get. I want to make this channel as best as it can possibly be. Yeah, that's true. It was a sub 141.31. Why is Poggers not in all caps? I have no idea. Dude, I added a bunch of FFZ emotes. And I don't know if they're good or not, so. I added Poggers that's lowercase. But I guess I can add the uppercase one. We also only have 25 spots, so don't know if that's gonna change or not. But I think if you make like a one-time donation, you can get 50, right? Is it just one time, or does it have to be concurrent? Also, Zach's doing the grind in 1-3. Yeah, he completely skipped those squigs. He honestly doesn't even need them. He'll be good to go. That's smart. Yeah, he'll get to 60 by the time he needs it. Then I'll see how PTL's goes. Oh, whoops. I don't know why this has been happening. Okay. Yeah, they're relatively about the same points-wise, but Zach is quite a ways ahead. Probably like 30-40 seconds. Zach's on chunks. PTL's gonna do the coconut jump. Hopefully nobody gets a bad chunk this entire tournament. That's what I'm hoping. You'll try commentating? Alright, cool. I'll go ahead and join the... Yeah, I'll join the chat real quick. Let me get my headphones on. Alright, can you hear me?
I'm sorry if I disconnect or anything during this, but like...
Yeah, it's not
internet is like awful, and it won't be fixed for a long time. Also, Zach snuffed thrown.
Oh, of course I say that. And now he gets thrown. Perfect.
So getting thrown by O chunks actually loses at least 20 seconds. We have no... It looks like it's a lot less, but like... It really is 20 seconds, which is very painful for any runs that are at high level and you're trying to get a quick early start and be ahead. And with a good start, you typically be good for the rest, and it just like sets the stage for the rest of the run.
Yeah, that's true. I think PTL actually caught up quite a bit because Zach got thrown there, and just overall had a bad showing, because I think he missed ICS too. That's unfortunate.
He didn't even go for the backup either.
Nah.
So, for anyone who doesn't know what ICS is, basically, Ice Turbo Skip is just you pick up the turtle once it shoots the ice at you, and if holding it up high enough, you will be able to jump on jump on the turtle at the top of the animation, or at the peak of its animation, and make the jump. Sadly, neither of you got the trick, but that will really even things out.
PCL got the setup, but unfortunately got hit by the turtle. So that's unfortunate. Zach says his reaction timing's really bad right now. But yeah, I mean overall, I think Zach's still ahead by a solid 30 seconds though, or 20. And then 1-4 is coming up here, and 1-4 mostly linear. It's mostly just go into a room and complete the task at hand, with the exception of like one room that's coming up here with key early. It'll be interesting to see if any other runners get key early like first try. It's not too difficult of a trick, but still sometimes it can take a while to clip in.
May I do the honors of explaining key early, JCR?
Go for it.
Alright, so key early. It's a trick that saves 20 seconds, and it's typically a hard trick if you haven't practiced it enough, but with enough practice it's pretty easy. So what you're going to see the runners do is you're going to corner clip, so you guys know where the quicksand is. Zach's going to corner clip onto the seam, he's going to flip into 3D, then going to seam lock to the left seam, and then instead of flipping back into 2D like a lot of runners do, he's gonna, what's it called? I'm trying to think. he's gonna jump on the blocks, and he's gonna jump right through the blocks where you would typically just like jump into. So as you can see, he kind of went like back into 2D right when he went back inbound, so that he didn't have to do diagonal movement and stay in 3D. Pretty complicated trick to explain, but I really did an okay job at explaining it.
Yeah, you did. Zach actually did a solid job. PTL's going for it right now, but they both go for the same strat on left side, where they'll jump on top of these on top of this platform while being on the seam. PTL's actually gonna flip and jump off that squig and then flip back. Either way, you can get the key. It's a little faster, I think, the way that Zach does it, and I still need to learn left side, but right side was originally what was found first, and that's why there are certain runners like myself who have never learned left side, but I'll get to it eventually.
Left side, you kind of if you're say like you're in the right side, you can get a little bit more where you can see Mario a little bit, so it's easier to know exactly where you are and what you're doing. With enough practice, you can easily do that with left side as well.
That's true. But yeah, for the rest of this level, this is a very irritating room. It's very long. There's the 3D ladder, which many call the final boss of this game, because it's so difficult to get on.
It's so easy, though. It's so easy. It's just like, you go right in the corner, and then you jump, and then you kind of just like, you hold right, but you also tap right a little bit, or
yeah,
right
I think I figured it out as the years went on, but I remember when I first started running this game, that was a pain. and the old strats that we used to do, we would go into the room with such low 3D meter, so a bunch of runners would like fall off right at the top. Cool.
I suggest getting a Mario Kart save file and just keep on practicing flip in the same place, do the same movement to get to the ladder, and then just practicing jumping onto the ladder. And with enough practice, it will get consistent, and you won't fall off the ladder ever again. And also, a little side note: if you do key early and you're in 3D for a really long time and you don't have much of your 3D bar left, it can really affect that ladder. So you gotta be really careful with that.
It's true. So coming up here is Fractal. This boss is first real boss of the game, I'm pretty sure, in 1.4. And he's actually one of the easiest bosses, but you can lose like 40 seconds on this boss if you don't get the one cycle. Basically, at the end of his first cycle, you can go to the very left. Like, he'll do this weird circle movement, and you're supposed to fall off him normally. That's what's intended, but you can actually jump from the first cycle to like the second cycle and completely skip. He does this really long 40-second animation on the ground, and you can completely skip 2 cycles of that. So it's a pretty required trick for most runners.
Of course, it's not the hardest trick in this game, but if you're really bad at it, you might want to practice. Yeah. Zach explained bladder a bit better. He said if you are complete stuff, or if you're at complete stop, you can just jump and hold forward. You won't trip the ladder.
Yeah.
So another thing, we should explain right what's happening. So Zach's gonna be.
Never mind.
But right when his Wiimote stops vibrating, he's gonna flip into 3D, and he's gonna move forward a bit. Or I think he should be. So he's gonna go like not to the very, very end of the room, but he's gonna wait a little bit farther away, and that way Fractal will actually find closer to you. So once he gets him down, he gets him in bounds a lot quicker, so you can also jump on him a lot quicker. So another thing with Fractals, Zach's manipulating the Frackles spawn right beside him, so he doesn't have to be jumping around hoping they just randomly spawn.
And then there's the trick that I was discussing earlier, where you can basically jump from his tail to his head, and that saves the entire cutscene that PTL is going through right now. You know, normally you're supposed to see that cutscene 2 more times, and thankfully it's a very easy trick, and I think anyone could get this with some practice, but sometimes it can also, you know, it's possible to just mess it up, and I know I've definitely messed it up a couple times just on accident.
You mean falling off Fractal?
Yeah, falling off Fractal, that's a pain.
Actually, a week or 2 ago I fell off Fractal. It was pretty shameful, but I got over it after a little while.
But yeah, we're gonna see this fight twice, because at the end of Pit is the final boss named Ractail, but Ractail's a little more difficult. Not really. I mean, he basically takes more hits, and the little I don't know what they're called, but the things that spawn on top of them, they do more damage if you get hit by them.
Frackles.
Yeah, the Frackles, that's it. But yeah, that basically wraps up all of Chapter 1. And from here, we're going to go through the pre-Chapter 2 cutscene, and then go into 2-1, get Boomer, and then it'll be straight to the pit from there. So I think roughly Zach's ahead by about, I want to say like 30-40 seconds still. It's a pretty sized lead. PTL said he golded 1.4, that's pretty sick. I'm actually going to refresh these streams to make sure they're on the same page. Switch audio? You know what? That's a good idea, because I haven't switched audio. Whoops. Okay, cool. Now we're on Zach's audio. But yeah, I guess to talk about this little pre-Chapter 2 cutscene that's going on right now, there's a couple things that are going to happen. We're going to get control of Peach in Count Bleck's castle, walk around for a little bit. There's a really neat thing that I'll talk about when it comes up about that Peach cutscene, but other than that, Peach is going to be sent to Flipside, and then we're going to have to do a bunch of different tasks to wake her up, and then put the Pure Heart in the pillar, and then we can get into Chapter 2. It's a very... This pre-Chapter 2 cutscene's one of the longest intermission cutscenes in the game. So it's... I mean, there's a lot that goes on that we just mash through. But, I guess I'll explain it now. So Zach is in the room currently, but there is a... Not really a theory, it's definitely possible, but if we were to get up top of the right side of this room and go into a pipe, you could literally sequence break this game from Chapter 1 to Chapter 8. Unfortunately, I mean, it's been tested through fly hacking. We don't really have a way to get up there right now, but if it were to happen, we'd still need so many other things to happen to actually just complete the game. So it'll be interesting to see if it gets anywhere. Yeah.
We have a couple theories on where we could set the game to so you wouldn't soft lock. For example, a really good place would be like 3-1 or 3-2, and like probably pre-chapter 7 since you get all your pixels back after you return from the underworld the first time. Pretty interesting theories. I think that if we actually came up with something, it'd be probably one of the coolest things in Sneak's history.
I think so too. It would actually, I'm pretty sure it would split the any percent category into two, where like there would be the any percent category would become completing the game using this sequence break, and then this current category for any percent would still be preserved with some other name like All Pure Hearts or something to that extent.
Be like TTYD and just call it All Stars.
Yeah.
That's a good name. Oh wow.
But yeah, the rest of this Peach cutscene's kind of nothing much goes on besides the end where Nastasia tries to like turn Peach into like one of Count Blick's minions, as you can kind of see. But somehow she's just teleported to Flipside.
As a kid who wasn't very good at reading, I always thought just Peach did that by herself until I like read like the story properly, and then I'm like, oh well, that was the man she was doing.
Yeah.
So this Mario and this Peach in this category are not real heroes. They're just guys that want to beat up Raptail, the final boss of the Pit of 100 Trials. They don't care about saving the world, they'll let it die.
That's true, because we don't actually beat the game in this category. We only go to Chapter 2, grab a bomb, and that's it. It's literally all we do. Oh, yeah, so I should talk about what the runners are going to do with prior knowledge of what's coming up in this next cutscene. Basically, there's going to be a guy that walks in and tells what's his name? Merlin, tells Merlin that there's a girl that's like asleep and just fell on the ground up on the Flipside Tower or something to that extent. But instead of going to follow them, we're going to go down to Saffron and make a spicy soup. I think it's what it's called. Alright, you're all good, Castle. But yeah, we're gonna make a spicy soup, and that is the soup that we're going to be asked to made by Merlin when we go up there. And that'll be able to wake up Peach. And that's why we also grabbed the Fire Burst in Gustovius' room early into this run. So, a bunch of things that we just know beforehand of doing this run, or both the runners know. It just makes the whole game so much easier. And that way when we get up there, you know, we save a lot of backtracking than we normally would. But yeah, and then after that, Peach will wake up, and then it's just a matter of getting to the Pure Heart Pillar. So tired, yeah. Me too. Yeah, definitely understandable. It happens. So yeah, as you see right now, basically in this cutscene, Merlin's gonna ask Mario to
Oh.
go to Saffron and make the spicy soup. However, we already made it, so it's all good. But yeah, again, that just saves so much, you know, so much backtracking. Again, an enter pit. Yeah, I'll probably switch back and forth between some audios as the run goes on. In fact, I'll probably just switch right now. Keep going back and forth. I want to do that more because I haven't actually gotten, or I haven't actually paid attention enough to do that. I think the last race, Teddy had his audio off, so I was just on Castle's the whole time. Alright, welcome back, Castle.
Wait, whose audio was off last
Oh,
race?
yeah, when you and Teddy played, Teddy's audio was off, so I was just talking about switching audios on stream, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
So I hope that the audio was on. And if it's not, well, look, that just kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's when I had to put the the Pit of 100 Trials soundtrack on for like the rest of Teddy's run.
It actually sounded good when he did that too, because it felt so official instead of like the actual music on. It was like commentating for like the right area. If that sounds correct, like you didn't have all the extra like Mario jumping sound effects, all the guys dying sound effects,
Yeah,
key sound effects, the annoying Hammer Bros sound effects. Like it really felt real.
yeah, that's true. Alright, well I think Zach, yeah, Zach's definitely quite further ahead. I don't know exactly what an estimate could be, but he has a solid lead, but when you enter the pit, it's a lot of things can change. RNG is a big thing with the pit. It's just, it goes all over the place, which is one thing that makes races of this game really fun.
Just like that, amazing daisy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few places, I mean, we'll get to them when we get to the pit, but there's quite a few places that you can get trolled beyond belief. But, like the Amazing Daisy room, Koopa patrols, it's painful. Oh, Zach's having trouble with this last jump. Basically, you're supposed to throw the squid in there while running. You can actually jump into that little
Spot.
yeah, that little like crevice there, and you can actually just jump in there, press 1, and then you'll just stay there normally. But blame that 2 input I didn't press. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that trick gets the best of everyone. But this whole, like, doing this whole thing, you know, just like PTL did right there. That's the way. That's like sort of a backup to doing it. But the reason both runners are doing that is so they don't have to flip into 3D, switch to Peach, and fly over the big pillar just to get to the Pure Heart pillar. It saves a little bit of time.
So roughly, these runners are 30 seconds apart. As you can see, Zach's entering 2-1 and PDL's just finishing up the Pure Heart cutscene, though I'm a bit delayed, so I'm probably a bit incorrect on that.
Yeah, actually you're right, yeah.
So 2-1, we're not gonna be doing all of it, we're gonna be doing it all up until we get Boomer, and then we're gonna return type and then enter the pit. So 2-1, pretty good level, pretty good music, respectable, it's fun level. For 2-1, the style of the way you beat the level is mostly just like switch between Mario, Peach, or typically casually anyways. You only use Peach once, so yeah. So you're gonna make use of all your abilities, flipping, using Peach's carousel, making use of the enemy patterns that are consistent in every room. It's a really interesting one to say the least. Ooh, so Zach actually just got an Ice Storm, which will save him a lot of time later on if he gets it. So, Ice Storm, we're going to be typically using that in room 98. He could use it anywhere else. It wouldn't really matter that much. But 98 would probably be the most effective use for him. So Zach just did a trick called Goomba Jump, where you wait for that Paragon to come around, and you just completely annihilate. Use it tight, and you're right together, and then you're able to reach the pipe. It's a pretty simple trick. Some people actually get the PAL pills while doing the trick, but some people don't. PTL actually did a really good backup strat for this trick, where you just like flip, go to the right, flip again, jump onto the block, and then flip. It is very consistent. I don't think you're gonna miss it ever, but you never know. So when I said like consistent enemy cycles and patterns, I'm mostly referring to those 3 Paragoombas and the Paragoomba you use for Goomba Jump. The Paragoombas are always jumping around, so you have to know when they're gonna jump and when they're not gonna jump. And if you do that, then it's gonna help you a lot for future runs. So Zach's actually just entering the Goomba room right here. So kills these camera dudes. I'm not even sure what they're called. Chromabas, something like that. I might be wrong. So he's gonna quickly get Boomer, and Boomer's gonna ask Zach a bunch of questions, and it's pretty interesting. They're pretty funny if you actually read them, but we're gonna speedrun. We don't read things.
Cool, so 2-1's just about done. But yeah, Boomer actually, I'm pretty sure he has the longest text of any Pixel. But that's mainly because he just asks for a response after every single question. So, painful sometimes. Oh, I don't know if you talked about a castle, but there is a trick called Boomer Skip that's performed in the any % run.
Yeah, I haven't talked about it yet. Give a little bit of explanation, G.
Yeah, sure. So, normally in any %, we would buy an extra shell shock in early game, whether it's at the 1-2 shop or the pre-chapter 2 flip side shop. One of the two. You would buy an extra shell shock, and basically, you could go into... You normally need Boomer to hit a switch in a room. It's not too complicated, however, you can actually go below... Like, it's the room that's like right below the switch, and then you can use a big shell shock, grab it with throw, flip in 3D, and you can toss it up to the...
I think the best way to explain what room it is, so we had like the 5 doors, including along with the star block. It's the door on the farthest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the farthest right door. Basically, you go in there, use the shell shock, you make it double the size, pick it up, flip in 3D, throw it, and that's... You basically hit a switch, and that saves a lot of time for any %, because that saves going down and finding Boomer.
So Zach just did a corner clip into those bricks. He didn't get it very good. He kept trying and trying, and he got it eventually, gladly. So he's all good to go. And he's now just going out the pit. He's now just gonna reveal these. Oh no, he's not. He's gonna get this swig, and he's gonna use his coconut to actually make the jump without having to use Tippy at all. Really, really cool trick. I don't know how much time it actually saves, just due to the fact that you have to make a switch. And you're gonna be switching Boomer later anyways. But it's a cool trick. It's a cool trick nonetheless. Very worth going for it.
Yeah, it's definitely neat. The only reason I go for it... Oh, PTL's gonna do this strat. So this was actually recently found. Where you can actually open this big chest and get the HP plus behind the pipe. And he's actually gonna use it right now. Basically what that will do is it'll give you 5 extra HP going into the pit. And I mean, like, that was recently found where you can literally just flip in 3D and open a chest that way if it's, like, right there. And I can't believe anyone didn't think about that, but it's still a really cool trick regardless. So Zach is in the pit. PTL's gonna enter soon enough, but I guess to talk about some things about the pit, there's quite a few random things. Basically, key and item drops are random, so there's like a certain set amount of enemies in one room, and any of them can have the key. So our goal is basically to kill as many enemies just to find the key as fast as possible. The entry and exit door spawns are random. You can kind of see some backgrounds, like some door background layouts in the pit, where you can see where they spawn in the room, and it's completely random. I mean, there's some certain common locations, but overall, it's random, as well as the enemy locations are random.
So, little note about RNG for item drops and key drops. It is decided the moment you enter the room. You can't manipulate it, so you can change it once you're actually in the room, which is, I think that's also a thing with the other Paper Marios, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure, but yeah. Oh, another thing we should talk about is, I've mentioned it before with leveling. However, you're gonna want to get to 60k before room 25. If you can get there before room 19, that helps a lot as well. But if you don't get it before room 25, you literally won't be able to progress in the run. So you'll just get soft locked. However,
I mean, you can always use items, but like it's
True,
not
true.
confirmed that you're gonna have the items you need. Like you can use an ice storm, a catch card, and just I'm not sure what a lot of the other ones. You can also use like other items that can help you increase your attack. Hot sauces, mighty tonic, thunder age. I don't think I mentioned that, but something about chain chomps specifically is you can't use fire bursts on them, unfortunately. But it's all good because you get to 60,000 points.
So, should mention that what isn't random is which enemies are going to be in each room, and you'll see so many different types of enemies throughout the run. There are some pretty important ones, there's some not so important ones, like squigs and squiglets are not crazy important. Any shell-based enemies will be utilized in different ways. There's quite a few enemies, especially as we get later into the pit, which are very difficult or very annoying to actually kill, so they can easily lose a lot of time. But we'll point them out as we see them. For now, yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, there's actually going to be a couple rooms where they're going to be using certain enemies to gain extra points, which will really, really help them later on. Like, I'm pretty sure it's like, there's one like room around 50 or so they used. It's really cool the way that you can use certain enemies. And we've seen PTL do it, I think. I think it was PTL. He used the spring guys to grind that extra amount of points by chaining their points together, which is a strat that is commonly used in every category, which is very, very unique to this game.
Yeah, that's very true. So there's gonna be, like, we basically call them point grind rooms, and we'll kind of point them out as it happens. Sometimes you can just make a room into a point grind room, and it's really important to get as high up, like as high leveled as possible early into the run. That way everything becomes easier as the run goes on. Oh, I should talk about Koopa shells. So there's two different types of Koopa shells. There's green ones and red ones. I know that green ones, both of them you can flip in 3D, and they'll bounce to either side of the room. I'm pretty sure, I know that for sure the green ones will despawn off screen. I think the red ones might as well. However, when we get to the room with Buzzy Beetles, those don't despawn off screen. So you can use those, especially for grinding, as well as like flipping in 3D and getting a bunch of enemies at one time. So it's pretty useful.
We will be using Buzzy Beetles for a grind later on, like I said, around room 50 or so.
So currently, to give an update on where they are, PTL's entering 13, and then let me see what Zach's entering. Zach is going into room, I believe this is 15, yeah, okay. So Zach's about 2 rooms ahead. I mean, that all can change very quickly. This game is just, especially this run when you get to this point, so much RNG. PTL has somewhat of an advantage, I mean, mainly because he has a bit more, what am I trying to say? Oh, he's leveled up a little bit more than Zach is, but it's not too big of a deal.
So later on, right now, Tyloids are pretty fine. They're okay enemies, they're not that hard to deal with, they're consistent, so you never really have to worry about the Tyloid. But later on, the yellow and red Tyloids can be a big problem, very annoying enemies, and what can I say other than they will become pain.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, we should also mention, Schlurps are really rough. You have to basically get them to swallow Boomer to actually kill them. That's the only way they can be killed. So whenever you get to a room with Schlurps, it's more than likely going to be optimal to just try to kill everything else that isn't a Schlurp as soon as possible. That's going to be the best way to deal with those types of rooms, but sometimes you just get unlucky, and a Schlurp has the key.
Well, typically, if you have like a Schlurp that's right in front of you, just throw a Boomer in its mouth. It's like 2 seconds, not even. It's especially if it's just like the blue ones. You're just like, okay, this is not a big deal. We're all good.
Alright, so Zach's... You actually saw the first,
Scoffwalk room.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah. So that was the first softlock room. Room 19 has a Koopa Troll in it. The Koopa Patrol, I don't know what they're called. But basically, you can easily get softlocked by him if you don't have if you're not up to 60k and you don't have any items. You can actually, I don't think you'll be able to kill him just with Boomer on your own. So it's definitely something to keep in mind as the run goes on. But I was actually going to mention in room 20 there, you saw the first sort of showcase of Flim in this run. And Flim will show up randomly every 10 rooms. He's completely random. I think he only, there's I don't know exactly how his RNG works, but sometimes he'll show up, sometimes he won't. He can sell certain items to you. He'll sell some healing items. He'll also sell an important item that we get is a
Thunder Rage.
Yeah, Thunder Rage. That's it.
He can also give you stuff like Restreamed and heals, which are useful for low. You're far away from a level, and you just need something else that will help you complete the run or PB or whatever.
PTL is actually getting Koopa Troll right now. He had the key, but thankfully he had enough level to just kill him with Boomer. That's unfortunate about those rooms, is sometimes there will be just a really, one enemy in that room that just takes forever to kill, and a lot of the times they'll just have the key. There's more enemies like that as the run goes on, and we'll kind of mention them. Oh, so this strat that PTL is doing, I think you also saw Zach do it, but you can just use the Fire Burst right there, and
I'm not sure if Zach did, actually.
Yeah. I completely missed it, but basically, if you get an extra Fire Burst, because we're saving 2 Fire Bursts for Racktail, we'll get to that later, but if you have an extra Fire Burst on you, that's very useful to use it in that room, because each of those enemies, just hitting them with Boomer once only does 1 damage, so you have to hit each enemy with Boomer 1 time. So it's very helpful when you have an extra Fire Burst that can just take them 5 of them out at once.
So Zach actually just finished the second softlock room.
That's true.
And like we said, if you're not 60k and you don't have any items that can defeat the chain jumps, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, again, there's more softlocks like that. I'm sure there's more later in the pit, but since we level up so much very quickly, it's not as big of a deal. Those are just the main 2 since we go into this pit under leveled than what we're normally supposed to be.
I mean, I guess if you have access with it this early, I guess it's not technically on their level, is it?
Yeah, it's true. But also, I mean, this game's like programmed really weird, where like the developers basically just expected everyone that plays this game to kill as many enemies as possible and get as much level as possible. And that's kind of shown in like chapter 4-4 with the robot fight. We need to be at 60k there to actually destroy Robot, but it's actually pretty easy to not be that leveled, or that much leveled when you get there, but there's ways to...
Fortunately, it's not a soft lock for Robot,
Mhm.
but you will have to take a much longer fight because the missiles don't come out for every shot, which is just one of those, a missile's just one of those power-ups for it, bro.
That was such a weird thing that happened to PTL, that the chomp actually got stuck on the higher level.
It's a pretty funny glitch.
Yeah, it's cool.
So actually, in this room, Zaxxon, it's pretty RNG heavy. There's a lot of times where you can get absolutely destroyed by these guys. But fortunately for Zach, the door was in a good place, the enemies were in a good place, he had everything just fine.
Yeah, it's true. PTL right now, you're kind of seeing the first essence, well actually the second, because I'm pretty sure Zach went through this room too, but daisies are very annoying. They're from chapter 3, actually they're in a bunch of different levels, but they shoot like music notes at you, and if you get hit by one, you'll fall asleep. And there's one particular enemy in like room 50 something, where there's a specific type of daisy we'll get to, and if that daisy is the key, it's a pain to kill, and it can actually do like 10 damage to you if you get hit by its music note. Let me refresh the stream again.
You just gotta kind of hope that you don't get completely destroyed by them. You sort of hope that RNG is like, sure, I'll give you a good key, I guess.
Yeah, it's completely random, and it can lose you so much time in the pit if you just get bad luck. Yeah, overall, I think Zach has a sizable lead, so PTL's going into room 28 now, and I'm pretty sure Zach's in like 31 or 32. So, it's a pretty sizable lead currently, but again, anything can change with luck. PTL levels
Like
up.
if Zach just gets like something like the Amazing Daisy key and Pio gets like a first key in the next Daisy room, like that can make a huge difference in the rest of these two runs.
Yeah, anything like that can happen. So it's kind of crazy. That's why watching these runs are so fun. '58's the Amazing Daisy. Thank you, Teddy. I think PTL, unless he can kill this guy right now, which he can. Alright, that's good. He's gotten some... Oh, the key's on the floor. That's rough. Yeah, sometimes... So, the layout can actually be a really, really big troll to you, where you'll have to use this pipe to actually access the door. There's a couple rooms like that, but this is mainly the first essence of it. So, unfortunately, PTL just had some bad luck there. So yeah, PTL's going into room 31, Zach is in room 35. There's not much, I'm trying to see, I have like some notes here. Oh, Cursias, we didn't actually talk about Cursias. Cursias are the real slow-moving blobs that walk around the room. You can actually flip and just send them all to the ground. And they're very easy to kill just with Boomer. However, if you get hit by them, they can send some sort of curse on you. It depends on what color it is. You know, like, it'll take away your flipping ability, take away your ability to jump, invert your controls. There's a bunch of different curses that can be set on you. Thankfully, the worst one, I don't think shows up in this pit, but there's a...
Yeah, it doesn't show up in the pit. The one that sends you back to the flip side, I'm the only instance of it is, like, I think, it's in chapter 5, and in chapter 3-1. It sends you back to flip side. If we were in the pit, it'd be a massive pain if you got hit by one.
Yeah.
But I think the game developer thought this is a bad idea. Unlike some of these other enemies, like some that were Zach was just finding, like the copters. like their programming is really iffy and gross, and it just doesn't work very well. Magic Koopas are a big pain because even if you hit them while they're casting, they still cast their hit at you, and it can be very dangerous considering that like 3 damage is a decent amount for like having like 30-ish, 20-ish HP. Like it can really make or break a run when you have Magic Koopas.
Mm-hmm. And I'm currently reading Zach's notes that he gave me about his strats for Pit because I did a marathon run. I commentated it for him alongside Flash, but he actually has written down Magic Koopas is the first use. I think you mentioned this of taking body damage as to use invincibility frames to not get hit by their projectiles because their projectiles do double damage. It's them and I forget what they're called. In a later room, they show up in like the 70s or something. To that extent. I think they're called Rough Puffs. But yeah, that will also be utilized.
Oddly, Rough Puffs aren't as bad as Magic Koopas though, where they just like shoot every 2 seconds and you can't really do anything with the projectiles because with the Huff Puffs, they're just a lot smaller, so they're a lot easier to avoid. Also, Zach's another problematic room, the Clubber room. Clubbers do 3 damage. They're kind of hard to get around. As you can see, this guy was just kind of blocking Zach's place. We took like 2 or 3 hits there, which again, those hits really do add up and can cause problems later.
Thankfully, Zach just leveled up in the next room, so it kind of worked out for him. But yeah, Clubbas can also be annoying. A good way to kill Clubbas is if they're in, if they have like a really low ceiling above them, you can just, if they're facing away from you, you can actually just jump above them basically, and you'll like practically insta-kill them. It's fairly simple. However, sometimes that's not the case, and they can like act up really easily, so it's a pain sometimes. Oh, these are Koopa Strikers also. So the room that Zach's in, this is the Koopa Striker room. They kick shells, and they can actually just basically kill themselves if you're in the right spot. But also, you can also just stand right in front of them and kick their shells for you. So there's a bunch of different strats for this room, but also they can be dangerous. But they're also a very good level up room. So. Yeah, you can see PTL right now dealing with Clubbas. They can be fairly annoying. For this Clubba room, it's the best RNG to get. Yeah, it's very stupid. But it's the best RNG to get the key from a squig.
So a quick thing with Zach, he's in the Untitled room, but in the last room, he also got another Ice Storm, which is really lucky. So with these red Untitleds, they move faster, and if you bump into one of them, they move the other way, which can be like cause massive problems, like depending on where they're placed, and like if they're on the roof, on the ground, it really does cause problems.
Yeah, that's true. So, oh yeah, you'll see a lot of enemies with dotted lines around them. If you do see that through the pit, it basically means when you flip in 3D, they'll flip with you. That can be utilized in certain rooms to kill enemies in 3D, especially when you have like a Koopa shell. Other times, it can be a pain. It really just depends on which enemy and which room you're in, but it's pretty neat to point out. Actually, PTL had like a little mini grind going on there. It was pretty cool. He got an Ice Storm too. Wow, it's pretty lucky drops going on. Zach also pointed out in chat, but getting an Ice Storm in Pit is rough because, or at least for any percent runners.
Speaking of Ice Storm, PTL just got another Ice Storm.
Oh yeah. But like, Ice Storm's literally like, if you get an Ice Storm in any percent, that saves a lot of time. However, like, it's not easy to get them to drop before you actually need them. So it's, it's really rough getting so many in the pit. But yeah.
The last Ice Storm runs are not real. You don't even expect to finish them because something dumb will happen. My last Ice Storm for any percent was it crashed. Though the run wasn't that great. It's just a really good example of like how your mindset can change by just getting one simple item, and how much your running can change, and how much everything can vary throughout the run. Like like a little bit off topic for anyone here, but Ice Storm saves roughly 30 seconds, and it will change out the route a lot.
Yeah, that's true. So it can, you know, especially like when high level 90% runners get that drop. I mean, their whole, like you said, their whole mindset changes. So it's kind of crazy. Getting back to where everyone is at, I think PTL is in room 48 and Zach is in room 50. So actually, a couple rooms ago, a couple rooms ago, PTL was 5 rooms behind, but now he's only like 2 or 3. So it's, you can see where RNG comes into play with this category. It's you know, anything can happen. Oh, this room Zach's in, this is the grind room where basically a Buzzy Beetle can, it won't despawn off screen, so you can just let it, ooh, a Mighty Tonic drop, that's crazy. But yeah, you can let it basically kill all these enemies and it'll basically be like a mini grind. Unfortunately, the Buzzy Beetle was actually the one with the key, so that's rough, but it's no big deal.
Zach also got a Mighty Tonic though. Kind of missed it. Mighty Tonics are useful for later if you don't have an Ice Storm or anything, but Zach already has a couple, so he's all good. Also, another thing to note is that any poisonous enemies, not like the Cursies, they don't actually poison you. For any poisonous enemies, they will always drop an item, though sometimes it's not a very useful item, like a cash card. Typically, the poison enemies will drop heals, which is, if you're right beside a lot of them, you're already like destroying all of them, then you have a good chance of getting like a super shroom, like just normal shroom shake. It can really vary, but like point is it's useful. Useful.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I think it was Zach that got trolled by the room layout, but this Pigorhythm, I think that's how you say their names. But yeah. That room sometimes.
I think.
Yeah. I think so. But sometimes you can get trolled by the room layout. Thankfully PTL hasn't, but Zach unfortunately did. He had to take a pipe to get to the door. So there's a bunch of those all throughout the run. Ooh, Clubbles are being rough. He's actually down to 3 health. Yeah, he's gonna use a. Oh no! Zach died! No, dude, he had 3. So that's, oh man, that's so rough. Yeah, he literally was right. He was gonna use a shroom shake, but he was right before getting leveled, and unfortunately, Clubbas do 3 damage, and he kind of took a risk, just jumping up there, hoping that he was gonna kill the Clubba first. Oh, that's so unfortunate.
So we will actually see if PDL will finish, or if they will have a rematch soon, which really could change the whole tournament around. Interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, so I think how it works, I'm not an organizer, but I'm pretty sure how it works is Zach dies, and basically PTL gets the chance to finish his run, and if PTL finishes out, he wins. However, if PTL dies at some point in this run, then they'll have a rematch at some point. So, yeah, it's rough. I mean, those decisions, I definitely understand it, you know, but it's just sometimes. Oh yeah, wow, Zach was actually ahead of his PB by 20 seconds. Yeah, sometimes those are rough decisions you have to make in the pit. Yeah.
If you guys remember earlier how I said RNG could turn this around, like Zach getting a Daisy Room key, or PDL, and PDL gets like a first key, this is one of those examples that are like, if you die, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
If you don't get the RNG, that will help you out, then it's kind of unfortunate, but it's just kind of the way that this category works, even though it sucks a lot.
Yeah. It's really rough. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, because again, PTL would have to finish this run first, but and we'll see what order everything goes in coming up soon. So PTL's in like room 50 something right now. But yeah, as the rules state, PTL has to finish this run first, and then he'll move on to the next round. if he dies, which hopefully he doesn't, they'll have to do a rematch. But yeah, it's really unfortunate for Zach.
Really, PTL doesn't even have to speedrun this. You can just casually go through it and play as safe as you want, because he doesn't have to worry about Zach going too far ahead or Zach catching up or anything. Which would be very smart for PTL to slow down and just take it really easy.
This is really unfortunate. Late reaction timing. Yeah, that definitely happens. I know if I ever play like tired or, you know, not feeling too well, like reaction timing is definitely an important thing. Also, this is the amazing daisy room we've been talking about. Room 58. Basically, the golden one is the one that you don't want to have the key.
Let's just say this is the room that everyone quits once they get the Amazing Daisy.
Yeah, that's true.
At least most people do.
Yeah, thankfully he got a good key pretty quickly. So. This is Magiblots. Thankfully PTL didn't have to deal with them there, but they come in 3 different colors, I think yellow, blue, and red, and they deal different damage. The red ones deal the most with 6 damage, but they spawn sort of randomly on the ground. They sort of try to spawn next to you, but for that room specifically, that early on, the squigs are gonna be taken out first, because they take a while to kill, and since they do a lot of damage, it can be kind of rough sometimes. But you'll see a lot more of those as the run goes on. Yeah. PTL is definitely on PV pace. I think I'd agree with that. I mean, I don't have splits on screen, but this looks like a PV pace run. Overall, it's been a solid run for him. Oh, this room is Dark Booze. You get a lot of coins from Dark Booze, and they'll traverse in 3D and try to spawn next to you to scare you. So the strat here, like you see, is just place Boomer and then sort of jump on them if you can. They're not too big of a deal, but unfortunately they didn't have the key. Oh, PTL's 3 minutes behind. That's rough. Alright, see you later, Zach. Thanks for running. So sorry you died. But yeah, thanks for showing up. You had a good race going on so far. You had the best chapter 1 and pre-pit you ever had. Dude, that's actually sick. I don't remember, I don't think I caught your guys' run. Or your run with Flash, but that's really cool to get like golds like that in your in a tournament match. Oh, you saved 10 seconds off your PB. That's really cool. I know I couldn't do that in a tournament run. I golded like 1 split, but it was like an RNG split, I think, in my race against Mohawk. So, rough. Oh yeah, PTL has 2 blocks. Those are items that drop randomly for certain different enemies, but blocks will basically make you invincible, and you can just move around any enemies that you want to. It's kind of neat. Oh, I should probably talk about ninjas. So ninjas are very fun. You're gonna see them a lot throughout this run. And by fun, I mean I hate them. But ninjas basically will jump around, throw little ninja stars at you, and they honestly they choose whether or not they want to die. It's complete RNG. They'll like if you hit them, they'll either turn into a bomb or they'll either die as it is. So they can be really rough to deal with sometimes. I don't know what room is it, 67? Yeah, there's nothing, I mean, this level of rooms, there's nothing crazy interesting besides just killing enemies fast. So yeah, oh, these guys, I mean, they basically sling their heads at you, and you can hit them through the wall, which is nice, but they're also pretty annoying sometimes. Oh, so Hammer Brothers throw projectiles that go through the floor, so it's very irritating to deal with them sometimes. You know, you could just be like on a level below and trying to kill an enemy and you'll just get sniped. The PTL, this is actually the strat with the Koopa Strikers that I was talking about, where you can literally get them to defeat themselves. And that was basically a good decision, because one of them had the key there. Oh, that's rough. He kind of got a bad room layout, but it shouldn't be too much of a big deal.
Like we said, he can take it as slow as he needs to because Zach's not really racing him anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, literally, I wouldn't be surprised if Flim shows up and he buys, like, a bunch of, shroom shakes and other stuff. Oh, never mind. Flim showed up and he just went through the door. He'll be alright.
Probably had a full inventory, anything.
Yeah, I actually don't know what he has in his inventory, so we'll see. That's a good key spawn there, hopefully. This is a decent room. Oh, I should also mention, you'll see in PTL screen, there's a timer that counts down from 5 minutes in the top right. Technically, if that timer gets to 0, ooh, a fire burst. I don't know if he's gonna get it though. Yeah, he will.
You get Alt F4 if the timer runs out.
Yeah, basically. Basically. If the timer somehow runs out from 5 minutes, which doesn't happen that often with runners of this game, but if it does, you'll literally just die, and that's it. You'll game over.
I mean, typically you beat all 10 floors in like 3 or 4 minutes, so I don't think that timer is really that bad.
No, yeah. We, like, runners really don't have much of a problem with it. Also, this is a good use of the fire burst, kind of. Unfortunately, I don't know why it didn't count that last guy. That's annoying. And of course, he's the one that had the key. Nice. But but yeah, no, you'll kind of see. What was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah. So, last thing about the timer. You can actually use the timer to measure how fast your room was. It's a little. I mean, it depends. Like, if you use an item, that doesn't count against the timer. But sometimes I use it to just check, sort of like how fast or how slow the room was. Yesterday in my run, I had 2 rooms that went to like 3:30. They went past 3:30 on the timer, so it's a really bad room. Oh, these are what are they called? 75 rough pots. Yeah, I've literally mentioned them earlier. But yeah, again, they do their little electric shocks do 4 damage. So sometimes you'll get hit by their body, which only does 2 damage, just to avoid taking the 4 damage. It's a
Gladly for these guys, it's like you take damage right before they hit you with the projectile anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So like the projectiles just go right through you and it's not a big deal. So yeah. Also, something coming up here with PDL is you can use the bomb to stun these guys. So which is very useful if you like really need to get out of a bad situation and these guys are just kind of blocking your way and you get past them. It really is a good strategy if you just need for these guys to like get out of your way so you can just like regroup and get everything together.
Yeah, it's true. This is like the big boomboxer room, so PTL's actually gonna kill this guy. He's close to leveling up. The next level is at 200k. And I think, let me look up. think 200k is an attack. Yes, it is. Okay. That's an attack level up. Oh, I should mention, basically every time you level up, it'll alternate between being a level up for attack and a level up for, you know, gaining 5 HP. So it'll go back and forth. But the important ones for us are probably attack. I mean, it's also good to get more HP too. But, yeah. So yeah, overall, this next room, room 78. These guys, I actually don't know their names, but basically, they'll duplicate on their own, and you have to basically defeat the source, and that's how you get the key.
Yeah, they're called Gromavas and Cromavas or something like that.
Ah, I see. So yeah, you go ahead.
Those 100% things I just remember.
Yeah, so these guys, it's neat. You can actually like defeat them with Boomer now. The Gromiba, Chromie. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I need to learn the names of these enemies. I've done like so much commentary. Yeah, there's Flim again. He's actually getting really lucky with Flim spawns. That's crazy. Sometimes you'll get Flim to spawn like every 10 rooms, you know, just back to back to back. And then other times you'll just never get him to spawn, and it can be really unlucky. I think that's kind of what happened to Flash the other day too, in his run. Bromoeba. Yeah, so this is level 82. Okay, so more Magiblots. Again, the red ones do 6 damage to you. They drop catch cards, apparently. Which, catch cards are actually somewhat useful for certain enemies in the pit. Say, an Amazy Daisy. You can actually just catch those with a catch card.
Or at least if you're lucky enough to get an Amazy Daisy.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think anyone else saw it, but the magic ball was like clipped right into the wall.
Yeah, that was so weird. I don't know why that happened. So Cherbils, if you Cherbils under like a low ceiling can be very annoying. Like there's only like one tiny spot you can jump on them, so it's definitely a little safer to use Boomer. They're still, I mean, they're still easy to kill, but sometimes if they're in a low ceiling, you can easily get hit by them. This is 84. These are Spinias, I think. Spanias? I don't know. But they'll basically, they're very easy to kill again. They only do 1 damage, but they'll fly at you. I think PTL was able to get in there. I'm gonna refresh the stream. Cool. Yeah, these are more Schlurps. It's not actually called a Schlurp, I think it's a different type, but these do, like, you basically have to hit them with Boomer twice. That's rough. PTL's getting really unlucky. Oh, it's just this random Schlurp. That's annoying. Yeah, no problem, Castle. Schlarp, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, that's sometimes, you know, like you look at his timer and it's like, it says 402. Like, that's how you know you have a pretty rough room, is, you know, when the timer gets to like 3 minutes, it's rough. So more Dark Booze. That was really good RNG. So these guys, these like green or bluish Pokies, they actually, they can poison you if you get hit by them. Read the card dictionary, dude. I'm not a 100% runner. I don't have time for that.
The cards actually don't give you any explanations at all.
Oh, do they?
There's the picture.
Yeah, I think that's... honestly, that's what I need to do, because I don't even know the names I have these enemies. Oh, this is the Koopa Trolls room. There are a bunch of Magic Koopas as well. This is actually... that's unfortunate. Like, the block isn't the best. you know, the best item to use in some of these rooms, because, you know, normally, ideally, if you ran into them, you'd want to, like, damage them, but unfortunately, they just kind of move them, so it can be really rough, and then they'll get stuck on high places. Unfortunately, I think it's actually, I don't know, yeah, it's a key, that's good. He's gonna use a Shroom Shake here, just for safe heal.
It's actually really useful against bosses. Like robot, you can't get hit. For Shadili, you can just use Bowser's Fire. Like it's really useful for certain fights.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, that's unfortunate. So yeah, this is the invert controls curse, yeah. It's not actually the worst thing in the world for some of our runners. It can be odd to do at first, but basically moving right makes you move left, and moving left makes you move right. Same with up-down, they're just vice versa. So that curse lasts, I believe, for a while. I don't know if there's any healing items that would get rid of that. But I could be wrong. I know healing items remove poison, most of them, but I think the curses just last.
I don't know if this is true, but I think the only way to actually get rid of these curses is by leveling up or using that Piccolo, which for anyone who doesn't know what Piccolo is, just plays a song, and you kind of just like lose any status effects that you have, as well as you also make old-fashioned jumping sounds.
Yeah, that's true, and that makes sense actually. What Piccolo's used. So these are more Ninjos and Ninjaries and Ninjanis. I don't know, but they are. I mean, when you get to like these later rooms, they're really irritating because so many of them can just turn to bombs randomly. I'm gonna refresh the stream again. But yeah, thankfully you got through it. Okay, so this room. Right now, he's going to use the Shell Shock that we've been keeping for a while. Actually, he's going to try to get to the higher level, which is not the worst idea in the world. He's going to use the Shell Shock. And just keep it at it.
Alone with the Shell Shock, you can probably get around like 60 to 100,000 points.
That's true. And yeah, as you can see, I mean, like, when you flip into 3D, you can get... He leveled up twice in this room, which is how many points you get from these, little silver Goombas. It's basically a free level up room if you have the Shell Shock. Alright, so we're getting to the last 10 rooms here. The last 10, there's a couple that can be really rough. And then there's some other ones that are fairly easy. But thankfully, that was actually a good room right there. He's at 40 health because he got the HP plus earlier, which is kind of sick. Yeah, more Ninjos, and, you know, rooms like this can just be irritating, honestly. So it's, yeah, kind of rough. Again, so many times they'll just turn into bombs, like, randomly. It's just death is, like, an option for them. Ooh, we got a Thunder Rage drop. That's actually helpful in the next coming rooms here. Oh, we got 2! That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Yeah, in one of the next rooms, I think it's a 98. Yeah, it's a 98. So, we'll definitely see that be used. He has 3 different Thunder Rages. That's crazy. It's good to have. I mean, I'm sure he can honestly use one of them in these rooms. I don't know which one, but yeah.
So, actually, if he doesn't get all the red chomps on screen, he can actually use another one of those Thunder Rages to help him out, which, if you really think about it, it's really good to have, because
yeah, that's true. Because, it's basically, yeah, the room we're talking about is the red chomp room, and, you're supposed to get as many on screen as possible, but sometimes, you know, due to where they spawn, it's just impossible to do that. But he literally has 3 different Thunder Rages, so he can use, like, 2 on that room, and then, like, 1 on one of these, if he wants to, but he's probably just gonna save them all for 98, which I don't blame him. So right now he's on 94. This room has some Fire Brothers. Wow, dude, this is such good key RNG. That is crazy. Oh yeah, he's gonna use one right here. I don't blame him, honestly. These guys are easy to kill with Boomer, but they're easy to take damage to, and it's probably just best to just kill them all. And of course, he doesn't get the key from pure luck. You know, still not a bad room though. So he's gonna keep the 2 Thunder Rages for room 98. This is 96, so only like 4 rooms left here. Great, dude! What is this key RNG? This is crazy. He might actually PB from this. Like that's insane. Oh yeah, this room is the most difficult room in the game. The artist room. I hope he doesn't die. Hope the run doesn't die from this one. Dang. Okay, he got it. Wow. That was close. I don't know how he did it.
Oh, I just watched that. That looked very stressful.
It was, yeah. Alright, but yeah, here's the rumor we've been talking about for reason. Thunder Age. He's actually going to try to get up here, which is a good idea. So yeah, he's going to use them on these guys. And if they don't have the key, he can literally use it on like the 1 or 2 that are left in this room. But thankfully they do. So now he just has to find the door and get out of here.
Wait, JCR, have I been saying Zach is a PTL?
I couldn't tell. I haven't heard Zach. So I think you should be alright. Oh, so these guys, so this is the Magic Block strat. He's actually going to use a Fire Burst on these guys, which is not a terrible idea because a bunch of them have spawned. Unfortunately, it didn't kill them, I don't think. Yeah, for these guys, I mean, the Magiblot room here, basically, you just want a bunch of them to spawn at once. I'm not sure where they all went. It's kind of crazy.
Spawns here can be really, really, really bad sometimes. It's kind of annoying, but you get used to it.
Okay, he got the key. He's going to go through at 131.13. So.
And congratulations to PTL for making it all the way to Rectail. But will he finish the run?
So I think he used the Fire Burst in that room, and he has a Thunder Rage. So like, honestly, I'm doing a meme strat because I only have 1 Fire Burst. Interesting. Should be fun.
So actually, for Ractail, he's gonna be basically doing the same thing as he did with Ractail, except now he's gonna be gliding all the way back onto his antenna with Peach. So, so he's gonna do the same jumping off strat, except he's gonna try to go just a little bit farther back, so he has distance and momentum to jump back onto Ractail. So as you can see, he used his Ice Storm and he used the Ice Storm, the Fire Burst, and the Thunder Rage. Yet just enough hits onto Ractail. So he's gonna jump back onto his antenna, or I think he is. And he's just gonna keep hitting it. So just to know, Ractail and Ractail they actually have a set amount of hits you have to hit them. You can't just hit them with infinite powers. and just one-shot them. It doesn't work with that, sadly. But 10 hits, really not much. And GG to PTL for finishing his run.
So yeah, GG's, it was great. The last part of this run is just getting Dashel and then going through the pipe. So PTL will be moving on to the next round. Zach's going to the losers round. So yeah, I mean, this has been a sick run. It was really cool. And the final time's coming up here. It'll be like a 134. At least according to my splits, it'll be a 134. And time, and that's it. 134. Why didn't my timer stop? Thanks. Great. It was a 134.49. Actually 46 according to his